Morning traders, and this is your Aussie day trade setup for today. So we've ended up with pretty much a bit of confusion as far as I'm concerned. It is a red bar, and it is almost an inside bar. And these tails, I'm going to put a block here. Those tails there are, if I just extend this right the way across, you'll see it's kind of a zone that we tagged. Come all the way across like that. Okay, I could extend it further, but you can see this is kind of an area where the bulls and bears are playing tug of war. You can see it's happened in the past. July 2009, we tagged it again, well, almost in September. Again reversed off there in November last year, and twice in November in actual fact. And then December we've been mucking around here, and January we broke through, and now we're testing it. Okay, so just keep that in mind at the moment, so while we go through the time frames. So if you look to the left, you can see on the lower time frames, you can see clearly there's a lot of action that's happening in this area, and the levels really are, it's 51750 and 52090. What's that? 51750 and 52090. So it's 350 point roughly, sort of a channel one. It's not, I call it a channel, but it's a zone. So it's a 350. We can call it a 400 point zone in actual fact, just to be safe. But that's clearly what is happening at the moment. So this area offers some value for the bulls at the moment. Okay, this hammer that was formed here is also telling. We have broken above it. We've come back. We've tested it. So there's a lot going on at the moment. This last bar here is nonsense data. I think just ignore that. We're looking at 10 cent for the moment, down 0.6%. But remember, we are going into Chinese New Year now, so I don't think it's going to play much havoc with the market at the moment. And the futures market is fairly flat. Yesterday, the US market was fairly flat. It was pretty much range bound most of the time, most of the day. So, and that's exactly what happened with the South African market. You can see we're kind of gapped up and down. Okay, so for me at the moment, everything hinges on what's going on with the structure that was formed yesterday. So there's my structure. Okay, we also have a bit of a double bottom forming. So here's my first leg of the double bottom. This is looking like the second leg of the double bottom. Look at my oscillators, they are starting to agree. Okay, so I'm still a bit wary of it. It could still fall. We do have what looks like a little bit of a cup and handle or a head and shoulders forming at the moment. But just coming back to the higher time frames and the zone that we've come into, I do suspect we're going to get some kind of buying. And we're on the 4 hour, and look at the oscillators. See, I have a grouping, and a pretty solid grouping. I started a crossover as well. Okay, so I'm cautious, but I do believe that we should start looking for value somewhere here, and looking for an opportunity to start building a long position. And I don't think the long position is going to be, it's not going to be, we're not going to be able to hold it for a longer period of time. I think we're going to have to be very careful about it. But I do believe maybe today, tomorrow, there should be something that allows us to get a half decent long position. Big gap to the top, and there is still a gap to the downside. This 200 EMA on the hour is critical at the moment to price action. If we can hold it, then we've definitely got an opportunity to move to the upside. Just coming back to yesterday, I've left the trend lines in from yesterday. So these were the fractal levels that we had in yesterday. Okay, break up or a breakdown, and no, yeah, there it is. Sorry, let me just put that back where it was. So those are the two fractal levels that we had in yesterday. We got the break up. I came back. I did try and test off there probably came down to 50% Fibonacci of those two fractals. There's a 50% there, bang on, and then out before rejecting the moving averages and moving back down again. So nothing really happened, to be honest. We're back in the bottom of the range. We hovered here on the 50% of this previous range and pretty much did nothing. So this last bar's nonsense data, I'm still looking for value. So I think looking at the hour, this is what's gonna give me my trigger. So as soon as we start seeing some structure on the hour that's forming, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. The other thing to note here is there's sort of a butterfly type pattern as well that's forming at the same time. So all about value right now. So we're looking where are the bulls going to find value, and that's where we want to try get in. Okay, and I think we're going to be driven by the European markets at the moment, and also earnings is going to still continue driving us as well. Okay, we'll just get to the Ichimoku. I don't think it's going to give us anything. I think this is still a game of patience right now. If you're prepared to sit and you've got the time, you'll be able to trade the lower time frames, probably as low as 3 minutes at the moment. That'll give you the trend changes that you'll pick up pretty quickly. But it's not kind of the game I'm looking for. Okay, so looking at the 12 minutes, it is bearish. Okay, fairly flat, so I'm not going to read too much into it, but currently it is bearish. So what we could do is just keep those two fractal levels in. Okay, this fractal is now changed to there, and there's the lower fractal. So that's our zone. Okay, so this is the area that we need to see a break. If we do break the downside, I'm still not convinced of the direction. Okay, looking at the 30 minutes, you can see we've had a bearish cross. Trigger span is positive, cloud is red, so mixed signals. And also, look at the divergence between Kijun and Dickinson here, pointing up. That you don't want to see. Okay, so that is a sign of confusion. It can go either way, but it's not something that I normally like getting involved in. Looking at the hour, flat Kijun, flat Dickinson, flat cloud, everything is bearish. However, price action is indicating a different story. So there's buyers stepping in, there's a pullback, we're forming a triangle, and the big question is whether we get above this fractal here of 52174. Okay, Kijun is also coming back down to Dickinson at the moment. So that is also a signal that the closer they come together, the better the chance that there's a crossover. Okay, so 4 hour, we've had a bearish cross, but all other signals are bullish, and this was a bounce off the cloud as well. Okay, so I'm not convinced that this is completely bearish at the moment. I think from a 4 hour perspective, this 4 hour fractal is one of the key critical areas to look at. But again, as I've said, look at the congestion to the left. It's not just going to fall through this without some huge catalyst to drive it, or some major catastrophe or something like that that's going to drive it. So some big news item or something somewhere would need to drive it, and I don't see that happening just yet. Okay, so. And if you look at the daily, we are still bullish. Okay, now, I've been saying this for quite some time, and that is the flag. We could argue that this tail was the test, or we could see a bit more of a fall to come and close some of these gaps here, which would then be a test of that flag. And that's what I'm waiting for. So I'm waiting for some structure, whether it's here or whether it's lower down. But the rationale that I have at the moment is I have a potential measured move here. I have a move, flag, break, retest of the break. And this is what I'm aiming at the moment. And the zone that we have is the breakout. You can see this was tempting to break. We broke. We're coming back to test the zone of breakout. So patience is the name of the game for me. If there's no trade today, there's no trade today. Not really stressed about that, because when it does get moving, I think you're going to have the opportunity to have a really decent trade with a sizable position with low risk. Okay, so yeah, so I think the last thing that we can do here is just let's go to the half hour. So this is the last hour of trading. I'm going to leave it on the fractal though. But there's these two bars, red bars, are the last hour of trading yesterday. Pretty much ties up with the range that we're in at the moment. And exactly the same happened the day before yesterday. There's the range, okay, which is why we came back to 50%. Last hour of trading, that bar and that bar. That green bar is nonsense. Yeah, green bar is nonsense. So that bar and that bar is the closing range. We broke above it, hit the range target by the looks of things. We can just confirm it. Yeah, so there's a range target. So we hit the range target, reversed, came back to 50% of the range, and we hovered at 50% before coming down to the bottom of the range. Yeah. Okay, so for me, same scenario today. I'm just going to use a fractal rather than this bar, but same principle here. This is the closing range. We're in a triangle, so I do suspect we have a rally. We could have a fake out to come down to this area here. This would test the Brooks gaps here before building a position to the upside, and that could just form the double bottom. So a lot of structure that I'm waiting for, and I'm not interested in trading SPY until I see the structure. Okay, so there is a lot of support in this area. It's a good 400-500 point zone, but there is support here. So any short that you're going to take here, you need to be careful, because you'll probably find that it's going to find some support, build some structure, and then reverse off that area. Okay, so I am sitting on hands, waiting to see what happens. If we do get a breakout of the flag, okay, in other words, this trend line here, which would coincide with the closing range breakout, that would trigger a long for me with a stop below the low of yesterday. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.